Hello, my name is Kendall Braz, and my topic is on tourism and disaster. First, I will begin by defining the terms tourism and disaster. Tourism is defined as traveling to a place outside one's usual environment or to a place of interest for recreation. Examples of tourism include traveling to beaches, national parks, sporting events, and even camping. I am from Sarasota, Florida, and it is a huge tourism town because we have Siesta Key Beach, which was voted the #1 beach in the country a couple of years ago. I see tourists almost every day when I'm there. A disaster can be defined as a sudden event that causes immense damage and/or loss of life. Examples include hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, terrorist attacks, and even uncontrolled fires. We learned a lot about disasters in this class, including multiple different hurricanes that caused great damage and loss of life, including Hurricane Hugo and Hurricane Katrina. Also, being from Florida and having lived on both the East and the West Coast, I have experienced several hurricanes in my time in Florida, almost every single hurricane season. So, how do tourism and disaster relate? Tourism and disaster do not mix. Most people do not want to travel to places where there is potential for disaster. For example, most people do not travel to Florida during hurricane season. Instead, many people visit in the spring and the summertime to vacation. When disaster strikes a particular area, people tend to lose interest in traveling to that area because there may be significant damage and it could be potentially dangerous. When travel declines in a certain area, businesses tend to lose money. This explains why many businesses suffer in times of disaster. There is one example that I think that many of us are familiar with that can demonstrate the negatively correlated relationship between tourism and disaster. Many of us may remember the horrific oil spill caused by BP in 2010. This was a huge disaster that destroyed the Gulf of Mexico and the coasts of the states that surrounded it. This disaster was detrimental to the tourism industry in Louisiana and in the neighboring states along the Gulf. Visitor spending in Louisiana dropped $247 million in 2010. In 3 years, it had dropped $422 million. Other states were also experiencing this impact. People did not want to travel to a beach that was covered in oil or even near one that was. This disaster also caused severe damage to wildlife in the area. Birds and fish were lined up dead along the coast and coated in oil from the water. Many people in the area relied on fishing as a source of income, and their businesses suffered during this time as well.